Present entire screen. Okay. All right. Okay, creating scatter plots. We talked about this yesterday. You had a worksheet that looked like this. Justin and Cooper, let me get you a copy real quick. Okay, and I've got some more work for us today. Marshall, I think this might be yours from yesterday. Does that look like your handwriting? I found it on the floor. Is that you? It's not? Okay, everybody take this worksheet out from yesterday, where we filled in the definitions of some scatter plot terminology. We talked about some plots. Have this sheet out. Yeah, it looks like that. Does anybody claim it's found around here? Let me see your handwriting. You have any handwriting? I think it's, yeah, I think that's you. It matches pretty good. Okay, you guys situated. Thought I had more copies made. Math 8. I may need to make some more copies. This was posted yesterday for class. This worksheet is right here, 8.3 notes. Okay, and I'll make sure you guys have copies of this. But so anyways, as my computer continues to think, we talked about some vocabulary yesterday. We talked about bivariate has two variables, the x-axis, the y-axis, the 4 quadrants. We talked about independent variables, dependent variables, stuff of that nature that you guys have all heard about so far this year. Oh, where the heck? Here we go. My computer doesn't always comply. Okay, so we reviewed all this. We also talked about a positive trend. When a scatter plot is created, a scatter plot is plotted points, and they're scattered. And however they appear tells you the trend in the data. Okay, so that's a scatter plot. This would be a positive trend because you could look like you could do a positive line through there. This would be negative. And then when the dots are just all over the place, we call that a no correlation kind of situation. There's no relationship between them. Okay? All right. Then you guys worked through some practice problems. Check for understanding. We worked through some of these together, and you were supposed to finish those up. Okay? So we are here today. Let's review. A positive relationship shows an upward rising trend. It starts to the left and works its way upward. Any questions on what a positive trend looks like? No? Okay, good. That's a positive looking trend. You could make a prediction with the data there. Okay? Your prediction could be, they could say to you, if your input or your independent variable was right around here, what would you predict your output variable would be? Well, you wouldn't pick something down here for your output. You would put another dot somewhere in this trend that's continuing up to the right. Okay? So they're going to ask you to make predictions, all right, based on what you see. Okay? That would be a positive. And as the X value increases, the Y value increases. That's what we're seeing. In the negative relationship, they ask you to make a prediction. They say 20 million people have gotten the vaccine, and the numbers of cases continue in this direction of COVID. This is just made up. What if we're at 40 million people having the vaccine? Where do you think your dot would be on 40 million? Would it be up here? Would it be, you expect it to be over here? Or would you place it somewhere in this area? Because you see the trend coming down towards that. Okay, so you can make a prediction. All right? The closer the dots are together, see how these are clumped really close together? The stronger the correlation is. What the heck does that mean? That means that the input and output prediction is it's very predictable. It's very predictable. Okay? All right? Now, if they're scattered more, it's tougher to make a call with that kind of data. This is called a weaker correlation, like the top one is a positive correlation. The bottom one is also a positive correlation, but it's very weak. It said it's weak because the dots are kind of more scattered apart. You can still kind of see a trend though, but it's a weaker correlation. Okay, we call that a weaker correlation. All right. This doesn't look like there's any correlation. There's just dots all over the place. So it would be really hard to make a prediction using that information. Okay? All right, so can you guys think of a situation where two things are not related at all to each other? Like, when you apply for a job and they ask you your highest level of education, have any of you applied for a job? Okay, so it's common, very common on an application for work that there's a question on there and it says, please list your highest level of education. What they're asking you to do is, and they'll usually have categories and you pick one. Now, if you graduated high school, you would say high school graduate. If you didn't graduate high school, you wouldn't check that box. They may not even have a box for that because they may not even interview people that don't graduate from high school. It may say GED equivalent. You know what GED is? That's where people don't physically finish coming to high school and then they get their graduation equivalent diploma through another program, costs money, it's time. Or they may say college or postgraduate, okay? So your highest degree of education and your favorite color M&M. What? Do you think those two pieces of information have any kind of correlation? Yeah. You could do research, collect data, plot all your points and find out, right? You could take every teacher and interview them and say, what's your highest degree of education, Miss Lake? I'd say, I have a master's degree. Post 4-year, I got a master's. Someone may say I have a PhD. Someone may say I have an undergraduate degree. None of us in this building have only a high school diploma. Teachers cannot get jobs unless they have at least 4 years of college education and they graduated and they pass all their certifications. We have to have a lot of education.
Now, what's your favorite color?
Right? So then you ask them, well, what's your favorite color M&M? What's your favorite? There's the different colors. Then you would collect all that data, you put it in your chart, and you would plot the points. I would expect there to be no correlation, but you might discover that there's a correlation. It'll depend on what your plotted points look like, right? So if they came out like that, you would say, well, there's really no correlation between the highest degree of education a teacher has in the building and their favorite color of M&M.
What's your favorite color? green so I can become smart.
So you can become what?
Smart.
Green represents envy. Did you know that? And money. But green's my favorite color. And my birthstone's green. So I'll let you.
My birthstone.
Do you guys know your birthstone?
My birthstone is worth more than all of yours. So
Is yours, are you April?
yes.
Is that the diamond?
Yes.
Okay.
One
Might be.
thing- one thing-
Depends on the diamond. If it's flawed, it may not be worth much.
Yeah, but someone once said like, what's your birthstone? And I just lied and said April, and then we looked it up, and it wasn't that.
It's
I
diamond.
said April. And
Diamond. Yep. You guys know your birthstone? Yeah. It's according to the month you were born in. Anybody born in July? Nobody? Okay, let's start with July. Let's go to the next. What comes after July?
April. No, not
August.
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 Any August. August is a green color as well,
Yeah.
but it's called peridot or something. It's a light green.
Yeah.
Okay, September.
Emerald.
No. September is dark blue, like a sapphire color.
Yeah.
October.
Is a scary.
No October. October is a, what is October? I don't even know. I have to look it up.
I feel like it's the
Black and orange.
first one.
Somebody look up October birthstone.
I'm already on it.
Just Google it, October birthstone. It'll tell you. What does it look like?
Hold on. We got October, and October is the Tourmaline.
It's the what?
Tourmaline.
Is that a food or a birthstone?
I don't. Hold on. Images. Let's look at it.
Kind of hungry, so I was
October.
hoping it was a food.
October is like a whitish one.
Well, that's weird. What? October. So birthstones.
Rose.
No, there's not called a rose.
Yeah.
It's called like something like a. Look up.
Birthstone chart.
All right, look this up. Hold on.
This is really important math information.
Yeah, I know.
It's data collection. We're talking about data collection. You can collect data on anything.
Oh yeah, that's it. The pink
Tourmaline. Yeah, this is October. This was peridot was August. September is the sapphire. Usually looks a darker, deeper blue. Those are expensive. Sapphires are expensive.
Lapis lazuli.
November is like this yellow, dark yellow, kind of a brownish tone to it. Topaz. December is a blue topaz. January is a garnet. It's a real pretty dark red. Anybody January? Okay, let's go through. How many Julys? Ruby. August. 2 August. September.
My sister.
October.
November.
November. November what?
29th.
That's my dad's birthday. Oh. December. 2 Decembers. December what? December what?
29.
Wow, you're a month apart. January.
We already did January.
February. 1.
What day?
24.
Wait, that's when my great grandfather died.
March. February was my mom. March.
And that's also
No
my
March.
great
Nobody this month. April. April what?
30th.
25th.
5 days apart.
Ooh, now I see why we get along so well, Brody.
And we also went to elementary school.
You're stubborn. You know your astrological sign?
What?
Taurus the bull? You're both
Yes.
Taurus the bull.
Yeah.
So am I. So we will continue to do this. Bull, clash the horns. Because I'm May. What's your May?
11.
Oh, you're close. I'm May 5th. I'm Cinco de Mayo. So,
My mom's birthday's in April, and her name's April, and her
That works
birthday's
out.
on the.
they could have named me May, but they didn't. My middle name has these 3 letters. How can you switch those around to be a middle name? To be a name?
Amy.
Amy. Ugh, I
Said
hated
it
that name.
first.
Sorry, anyone that has Amy. I just didn't like it. And June, any Junes? June what?
14.
14th? 9th? So you guys always miss out. You don't get to have the big celebration at school because school's already out, right?
That's great.
My son's like that too. His is the 18th.
Oh, I'm dropping it.
And we went back to July. Okay, Cooper, what, when were you born? What month? I can look it up. You did not participate in that activity.
February.
Are you telling us the truth?
I use his name and random things.
February what?
29.
You're a leap year baby.
No, I know.
People are born that
30th.
way. Oh, perfect. That would be March 1st. There's not 30 days in, don't anybody tell you there's 30 days in February. There's just not. You can be born February 29th though.
Yeah.
That's a leap year.
No, you can't.
Because the earth really spins 364 point, or it takes, here's the sun. It takes it 364 and a quarter days to get around the sun.
Yeah.
So no, not 365 and a quarter. So every 4th year, we get an extra day because 1/4 plus 1/4
And
plus 1/4
everyone
plus
born
1/4.
on that day is 4 years younger than everyone else.
So when my daughter was born, they threw out that date as a due date. And I was like, what?
Crap.
And, but
What
she,
happens if you aren't born on
We
you,
should watch that video.
you
where it
pick,
shows that.
you pick to celebrate February 28th or March 1st. But I don't really know. She swam with a kid that was her age that, born the same year, but he was born February 29th. So I'm not sure how they,
Well,
They do.
what they do is they make jokes about, oh yeah, I'm only 12 years old and I'm
yeah,
9
like
years
really, when she was 16, he was really 4. Like, but no,
old. Oh, if they got together, that would have been illegal.
that would not be good. All right, Brody, easy on the content, K. You guys ever speak Pig Latin?
What?
I have video.
You guys don't know Pig Latin?
Yeah, you gotta teach us.
Cooper, don't you know Pig Latin?
What's a pig Latin?
You take every word and you reverse it,
Yeah.
like the word content, and you put the second syllable first. Ontent, and you put a K before the first one. So content would be ontent K. Ontent con. Content, ontent con. And that's how Pig Latin is spelled.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Pig
yeah,
Latin.
Why do you like think that I knew it?
Because you know these kind of things.
I play video games with Pig Latin. in it,
Okay.
So
So there we go. Positive correlation, negative correlation, no correlation. Strong correlation, weak correlation. We'll watch this and then we'll move on.
Welcome to this
We already
math
watched
lesson
Is this the one we already
on
watched?
scatter plots.
Yeah.
In this video, we are going to take a look at lines of best
No,
fit.
we didn't. This is
Here
different.
we have an example of a scatter plot. We first want to sketch a line of best fit. Remember, a line of best fit would estimate the data by running through the center of your data points. Let's take a look at a line that would not be a good line of best fit. This line does not fit with our data,
You see how it could
even though it goes through the most extreme point.
little bit?
The cluster of
Was
our
it on the
data
side?
appears to have this directionality. Therefore,
So-
that blue line is not a good line of best fit.
It's not.
Let's take a look at what would be a better estimate of a line of best fit for this data. Okay, now using this line of best fit, we want to determine what our output would be when our input is 11. If you recall, input refers to your x coordinate, output refers to your y.
It's
So we
important.
want to know what y would be when x is 11. On our graph, we are going to find 11 on our x-axis
We're gonna go
From
up to
that
our line
point,
of
we are
best
gonna
fit.
rise up to our line of best fit.
Where it hits, we're gonna go
Then
to
we
the
are
left.
gonna go over to our y-axis.
15.
And it appears that when x is 11, we would expect our y to be approximately 16.
Wait, hold on.
Approximately 16.
Wait, that's wrong though, because look, it goes
So when
1,
x
2,
is
3,
11,
4,
Counting
5,
off by
20.
twos. It's counting off by twos.
Oh,
we would expect y to
well, I
equal
should 15, sorry.
16.
Let me pause her right there. This skill right here, looking at a scatter plot, putting in your line of best fit, and then taking a situation where they ask you for the output for a certain input, that's exactly what you have to do on the SOL. You have to be able to do that. Okay, you have to look at the graph, imagine your line of best fit, as close to as many of those dots as possible, and try to get an equal number on either side. That's key too. And you draw your line, then you can use that line to make predictions. Sometimes your line of best fit can be created a different way. So we'll talk about that when we get closer to the test. She may show you too.
It's still paused.
This next question says, what could be a possible equation of the line of best fit?
Oh, equation of
Let's
a line.
review lines of best fit
Y equals.
and equations of lines. Remember, y equals mx plus b.
This look familiar? Equations of lines, y equals mx plus b. The m gives you the slope. That's the, the positive slope, the negative slope, the zero slope, the undefined slope. And b tells you where it crosses the y-axis. All this comes back into play here.
Refers to the slope-intercept form of your line, because m is the slope, b is your y-intercept. Slope refers to the steepness of a line. Y-intercept refers to where that line crosses the y-axis, or the vertical axis. Y-intercept will be your y-coordinate when your x is 0.
So when x is 0, you can put something on the y-axis.
Okay,
A number.
slope, let's review slope, positive and negative. Left to right,
Positive.
if your line goes up from left to right, that means that you will have a positive slope. Our line of best fit does appear to be positive. Just as a review, left to right, if the line goes down, then the slope is negative.
So if it started here,
Let's
came down.
calculate
It'd
the
be negative,
slope
like
for
negative
our
correlation.
line of best fit. To do that, we must first find 2 points on the line and then count our rise over our run.
Remember being able to do this? When you were given a line and they said, tell me the slope, you had 2 points and you walked up and then you walked over and that became your rise over run, your fraction, that was your slope. Okay, that's going to come back into play a little bit here too. Good review.
So to go from 1 point to the next, I go up 6 units and right 5. That means my slope will be a positive 6/5.
Your up and down change gets divided by the side to side change.
Now we need to take a look at where this line is going to cross the y-axis. It's important to remember to look at the intervals of your graph.
That's what she's talking about, the intervals. And they'll do this on the standardized tests, on the SOL test. They'll try to trick you, but you can't be tricked because you're going to pay attention to the intervals. Okay? What does she mean by that? When you said the answer was like 15 and she said 16 and you're like, what? No. You got to pay attention to how they're counting off their grid. So they're intervals. For instance, from 0 to 10, there's not 10 tick marks here. There's only 5. So I know they're counting by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 20. Okay? That's how they're counting here. So that's a detail that you got to pay attention to because they'll try to trick you. Don't fall for the bait.
Each tick mark in our graph appears to be 2 units. Our line appears to cross our y-axis halfway between 0 and 2, which means that my y-intercept
Should be
will
1.
be 1.
Halfway between 0 and 2 is 1.
If I plug in my slope and my y-intercept into the slope-intercept form, the equation of this line will be 6/5 x plus 1.
Now that she identified that equation, she can put in any value for x and make a prediction. Any value she wants. Okay?
Thank you for watching.
All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good times. Let me get out of this video and let's finish this up. That's the one we just watched. Let's go to next. In our module, check for understanding. This practice is really good practice. Okay, really good. All right, what kind of correlation? What type of trend is presented in that scatter plot? A weak negative trend, a strong positive trend, a weak positive trend, or a strong negative trend?
A weak positive.
Weak, how do you know it's positive?
Is this going on?
You can see that that line coming through there, right? You can kind of envision that. Now, this one's kind of like an outlier. Not really. It's there. It's not like way over here. So I don't know if I'd call it an outlier, but it starts our trend. And as we move up, we see these clumps of data points. So is it a weak positive or a strong positive? What do you guys think? It's not, they're not clumped together really, really close, but they're not terribly far. I'm a little, I don't know. I guess we'll everybody's saying weak. So let's go with weak positive.
It's correct. I've already
Yes. Awesome. Okay.
done it.
How do I get to next question without messing this up?
You just go to the next one. It's over. That question's over.
Okay. Here are 4 different graphs of scatter plots, and they've put in a line of best fit. And they're asking you, which of the 4 lines of best fit best estimates the data for the burgers?
A.
What burgers?
Up behind the freaking screen.
Oh, there's the burgers.
Yeah. Okay, juicy.
There's the burgers. Looking good, making me hungry.
Um,
Okay, so
A.
which line would you pick is the best one for line of best fit on these graphs, Brody?
A.
A, C? No, we definitely wouldn't put, that's a negative line and that trend is going positive.
I said
This
A.
one looks pretty good and this one looks pretty good. Why did you not pick this one?
Because that one's freaking stupid and it's A.
In mathematical terms, why would you not pick this one?
Because it's not bad to see the last one.
Say that again?
It doesn't get around the center.
Yes.
I thought I was the one who was
If
being
you
called
look
out.
at the trajectory, there's a big word, from here to here, it totally misses that point. Let's see if we can put a line in to hit that point. Yes, this one is a much better choice. So choice A is the best choice. Really good SOL type situations here.
I have a question.
Is it a math question?
Somewhat.
Let's hang on to that question for a second. Let's get through this first. And keep that question. We'll get to it in a minute. Okay, we just ate cheeseburgers. Now what are we doing?
We're swimming in a pool.
There's a pool. Looks like a resort, kind of. I'd like to be there eating my cheeseburgers.
Perry's resort? That's the best resort. in
If
Florida.
you were to draw a line of best fit for the data, here's your scatter plot. How many rooms would you expect would be occupied if the hotel charged $100 per night? So now we got to examine our graph here.
Freaking toilet.
Average price for a hotel room. So if we're paying 100, how many rooms would be occupied? How many would you expect to be occupied at 100?
Well, 0.
Somewhere right in here, right? And I would expect probably, so 20, 30, 40. No, how are they counting this off? 25, 30, 35, by fives.
No, because there's 33.
So 25, 30, 35, 40. I would say somewhere in this range, which would be between 30 and 35, would be your best guess.
But there's not 35. There's
No.
33.
Between 30 and 35. So this would be your best educated guess. Okay? But you do have to pay attention to these details.
All right, you got it right over there.
We have one more?
No.
Which of the following points might be considered an outlier in this data set?
Oh, I know.
So let's graph these 3 points they gave us. Now, when you take your test at the end of the year, you won't be able to write on the screen. You won't be able to touch the screen or cover the screen. So
I
make
know
note
which
of that.
one it is.
We're going to graph 70 and 38. So 70, 60, 65, 70, and 38 would be
Perfect.
somewhere like right here.
It's the right one. Do it.
97 and 35. 97 and 35 would be like, it looks like it. So this is 95, 97 and 35 is actually right there. And 115 and 30, 1, 5, 10, 15, and 30, 20, 25, 30. Oh goodness, they're all right in the middle of that data.
It's 70, 38.
So. Hello? May I ask who's calling? Yes, I'm actually working and teaching. So can you call me back later in the day? After 3:30. Okay, thank you.
The answer
Used to
is
call my
70, 38.
I would pick this one.
Well, I would.
Why would I pick that one? He's yelling this one, but I'm not buying it. Why would I pick this one?
They're asking for the outlier, not the one in the middle.
Oh, yes. Okay. Phew, I didn't read the directions. I got distracted. So outlier would be this one
Yeah.
because it's further away from the other data points. The others look like they're like right in the thick of things. So good paying attention to detail. Whew. It's like, but I got that wrong.
And then negative.
What is the slope for the line of best fit? Positive, negative. Nice, negative. Okay.
No. No negative.
We're geniuses, right?
I'm a genius.
Okay, so there we go. Pretty good stuff. This is not terribly difficult. It requires you to pay attention to details. Details. Now, let me keep moving on here. I think I gave you a Delta Math to do.
No.
I'm pretty sure I put it out there.
There's-
It'll be your
Okay.
first grade on your fourth quarter grade.
It says Delta Math interpreter.
Interpreting scatter plots. So everybody go to Delta Math because this one was super easy. 10, you have to there's 10 questions. It's called Interpreting Scatter Plots. You should see it available. And that's what I want you working on now.
What the? All right. What
Let's
is
just
it?
get that done.
What is it?
On screen.
Oh, slow. I think I'm on the right one.
Okay. Have you already done it? Anybody already done it? You did it? I'm gonna give you a packet. Unless you had your sheet and you had some makeup work to do. Did you have anything makeup missing on this sheet? Okay. How'd you do on the scatter plot delta map? Not terribly difficult.
What the?
This is a lot, but that's okay.
What the monkey?
Start working for each question. I've got the answer key. So when you're done with delta map, and if you don't have anything else on your sheet to work on, this is where you go. And put it to the side. Yes, sir, Marshall. You good?
Gucci.
You sure you logged in, right? Log out and then log back in. What's that? I did. I did. I need to check with Miss Cox because Miss Cal is not here. And she went with you guys yesterday. And I want to make sure it's okay that you guys go if I don't have someone going with you. Okay? There you go. Did you already do it? Interpreting data? Oh, okay, so work on this packet. Unless you have something on your printed out sheet that you need to work on. Your grade sheet. I know, plus it'd be in your power school account. All right, so people that are on the video or not, I'm gonna log off because we're doing independent work.
Nice.
Stop prison.
No.